So, nice views at the beach. As I'm talking about this is Death Trap car number 5 from Enterprise. So I went ahead and I took the other car that I was driving back to Enterprise. There's a smaller, there are 2 small offices within the branch within several miles of each other. I'm here on the coast. I took, this is evidence of a dirty company that has worked to help try to take me the fuck out of here, man. And it's ridiculous because I'm sitting in the car right now, like my eyes are burning. This is car number 5. I basically came to this office after driving from like West Sacramento. I'm like down here in the Monterey area, and came to this office because I have been having severe, my eyes have been burning a lot. I've had severe lethargy. They basically have helped to poison the car, and the way that they're primarily doing it right now is through the vents. So, it's funny because when I went there yesterday, they magically didn't have anything available. I returned today because I was so tired of being in a contaminated car and being sprayed. And just knowing that they're in on this is just, it's just terrible. Now, I would leave and try to go to another rental car agency, but I'm down here, near the beach. It's pretty quaint down here. And then on top of that, I have stuff in the car. I'm trying to move around. And it would just be a lot to try to, I've got people stalking and surveilling me, so it'd be a lot to try to move to another rental car place. The odds that that place would be, fucking sabotaged as well is also is also probable. So it's the main reason why I'm sticking with Enterprise, despite the fact that not trying to videotape random ass people, but despite the fact that that they've been terrible and they've been a part of this. So it's like places like Albertsons, places like Walgreens, Uber Eats people, the drivers and stuff like that, people that actually drive Uber, that actually taxi you around. Let's see, Walmart, I think did I say Albertsons, Lucky's, major retailers, major grocery chains and things like that. And I'm saying that about the grocery chains because it's like they are contaminating our water, and that's for everybody. It's not just me being a hella targeted individual. But anyways, so got there and I talked to I went back, and this was after today, and I told them, I was like, I'll rent an SUV. Magically they had this wonderful Kia that was similar to what I've been, driving, to the Corolla that I was driving. And so they had that. And I knew I was being set up. So I just went ahead and took the car because and then on top of that, they're like, oh, we'll keep it at the rate for you and stuff like that. The funny thing is, it's like all this artificial customer service, like, oh, they're doing you a favor, oh, because it's cheap, we'll just switch it out, it'll be easy. No, this is just another way for you guys to put me in a death trap car. And it's like, I'm tired of the stupidity, because it's like, first of all, if I've survived enough to come back and tell you guys I think there was an issue with the car, and that's the thing, they're not even like asking or like even super concerned and stuff like that. But I don't know if the guy, I'm just not even gonna say that, the guy did come and sit in the car, so it's like, I hope y'all get sick, you know what I mean? I hope when you guys sit in these vehicles and you get in these vehicles, you get sick. But if they're in on it, they already know that these vehicles are contaminated. So he gave me this, like, automatically the Kia looks just almost like the other car that I was driving. I have yet to experience any, I haven't driven it enough to know if there's any mechanical issues, like with the tires or any kind of sabotage like that. It seems to be running smoother, but there is shit going on with the vents, because as soon as I got in here, my eyes started burning. They've probably sprayed the whole thing down, so I'm gonna have to go clean it out. I've taped up the vents in a event to like say in an effort to save myself, and keeping my stuff in plastic bags minus this, and I'm probably gonna go and clean this out. But this car is also contaminated. It's either been sprayed down and they've put stuff in the vents like they have before, a combination of both. The only good thing is that this navigation tracking thing goes off and stays off. which is, what I'm asking for. Like, and it's fairly simple, but they have absolutely contaminated it. I can feel the effects. And what's so funny is that these companies keep agreeing to help. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know if this has any like severe mechanical issues. I don't know if I'll run into any tire issues like I have with the other vehicles that I have rented through them. But, this is sad. And the fact that I'm living through all of this and they will not walk away. Like, they are just like, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever money you guys must have received for this must have been substantial. And the funny thing is it's all illegal, stolen money. You know what I mean? Like, these people are doing this because they literally like took like an inheritance that, was from my family. You know what I mean? So, and have been stealing from me and siphoning from me. And again, like I said, celebrities are involved. The man that is really targeting me, he is a military affiliated cult leader, well connected with resources, and has a lot of access to basically the system, the matrix. Because he's made my life a living hell. Like, every single hotel I've gone to, my rooms have been contaminated. And there have been, and because he's arrogant and fucking psychopathic, in the interest of gaslighting me and stalking me, he's done things like leave me like cursed coins and stuff like that to let me know that he's been in the area and stuff like that, because he is a warlock and they do practice witchcraft and whack ass spell work and stupid ass dumb shit like that. So he's gaslit me by that, leaving cursed coins. That's a way of fucking with people's finances. And that's how you know that these greedy motherfuckers are after some money and mad at me because legally they're in trouble for being thieves, frauds, liars, and stuff. It's all kinds of false documentation. I've noted in my other videos that, I was human trafficked. I was trafficked as a child and put into a cult, an adopted cult family that was, a part of a heavy cult. People with heavy military ties to the government, ties to everything. Legal, law enforcement, the judicial system, all that shit. Because I was supposed to be a human sacrifice, and they are pissed because I'm still alive, and they're in a lot of legal hot water, and a lot of shit that they've stolen from my family inheritance and things that were left from my like actual family and stuff like that are owed back, and they started like this assault on me in 2024 when a lot of things started to happen for them legally. They've stolen my mail. Like I said, I've gone from California to Nevada to Texas. I'm back here in California, and this is still going on. This is the better part of a year now. This started at the beginning of 2024. We are now more than halfway through 2025, and I'm still being like hunted like a dog. And they are trying so hard to avoid their karma. And the main reason why they're trying to do that is because they're trying to corroborate the lie and the perjury that they've created in court by saying that I'm actually dead. They've delayed and stalled court dates. They even practice dumb shit like spell work to fucking change the court system and stuff like that. Now, I don't have much faith in the justice system here or anything like that, so it's not like I really, like believe in anything, but I do know that whatever's happening, it's not shaking out for them, because they are trying really hard to really take me the fuck out, you know what I mean? And I do believe that is why I have a heavy protection from God and, whatever ancestors are protecting me in that spiritual realm, because I'm still alive. You know what I mean? Last night, I prayed because, like my heart wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling it. And I mean, like not just spiritually, but like I have been, really affected and severely poisoned. You know what I mean? So anyways, but I have been sustained. But anyways, I've had to tape up the vents. This is card number 5. Enterprise is one of the crooked ass companies that has been in on this. On one of my other videos, I mentioned Nissan. Let me clarify that I had a Nissan Altima 2016 that I drove that was completely destroyed. It was also poisoned, and I used to take it back to the dealership for service. It was the one in Auburn. I think in Auburn, yeah, close to where I lived in the North Highlands, in the Sacramento area. And it's so funny because I used to love their service. I took it back there. I thought that they were, good to me. The whole time they got bribed at one point because because it's just like this. My car, would run a little funny, and it was smelled really weird, and it's because they were poisoning me, because the whole time there's some kind of life insurance policy that people were paying into as a group to cash in on me, and it was pretty fucking up there. And so not only was there an illegal power of attorney, and I was false married to this handler hitman guy, his name is Brandon, so that he, could take my money and stuff like that. Or so that they could basically take the money and siphon it off into offshore accounts by basically saying and doing things to me so that it would make me seem like I was unfit and not competent to handle money or anything like that. Those kind of things. And then anyways, but taking me out would have really helped them, because they're in debt now, and they would have wanted to cash in on this life insurance policy, which just cracks me up, because it's like, who wouldn't red flag that? You know what I mean? There are so many things that, like, it was a pretty substantial policy that people were paying into, like in the millions and stuff like that. So who wouldn't, you know what I mean? And the kind of debt that they're in, this wouldn't even cover 92 or whatever million it was. This wouldn't even cover whatever the fuck they're in debt for, but they're just that desperate and stuff like that. But I'm trying to understand who the fuck wouldn't flag the fuck out of that, you know what I mean? But anyways, like I said, Enterprise is in on this. This is the 5th car that I've gotten, and like I said, they did it under the guise like, oh, we're gonna make it easy and simple for you, and it'll be a good rate and stuff like that. And I knew I was getting set up, and I just went ahead and took it, because I'm tired of fighting with them. You know what I mean? I'm tired of like trying to go back or whatever. It is what it is. But like, honestly, like, they stand to get really like sued for this, like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, this car's contaminated. What I can't understand is the persistence in it. It's like, you guys obviously know that I'm not, that I'm suspicious about the cars and stuff like that at this point, or that I have issues. And I've gone back and I've been polite and I've been grateful, and these people still persist and consist to keep trying to do this. And that's why I was like, you're not dealing with full-on humans anymore. I mean, there are people, I mean, they might pretend to be, you know what I mean? But some of these people are not even real. Like, clones are real, you know what I mean? Because some of these people are completely absent of souls, you know what I mean? There are racist people out there, narcissists and stuff like that, would practice probably more empathy or sympathy, even if it was not for me, than these people. And they put it in today, like I said, they put it under guys being nice, like, oh, if you need anything, just ask me and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know if these people are being fooled into thinking that I'm just gonna go out here and die in this car and they can just chalk it up to an accident. But I'm not gonna die. You know why? Because they all deserve to catch karma for this fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, and the funny thing is like, I watched the way that I actually recorded the interaction, and just talked through, what I was going through when I was switching the car out. But I watched the way over the last couple of days that these people interacted with the people that made reservations that weren't me, and the way that they interacted with me. And you could tell that it was a total setup. You know what I mean? Like, the people that went out to go get the cars that they had reserved and stuff like that, you could tell that they had options, and if they needed another option, they would have it. These people wanted to ensure that they kept me in a similar vehicle, you know what I mean? And it's because they're setting vehicles up for me to death trap me. It's like when I went to the hotels, I'm having specific rooms being set up for me to death trap me, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, in the interest of egotism, and witchcraft and spell work and stuff, there's all these like stupid things about the room that indicate that I'm in a poison room, like screws loose, fans not working and stuff like that, missing pieces of tile and stuff like that. This should even happen to me on a plane on Southwest and stuff, where they sprayed my luggage, the checked baggage, and then the stewardess also poisoned my coffee. And then when I went to the restroom, they sprayed my luggage too, while the fat bitch and her fucking fat roly-poly husband sitting to the right of me looked the other way. And then when I got my luggage, I took 2 flights trying to get away from this shit. And on the second flight, my luggage had actually been on, maybe on both flights, but on the second flight it was clear that my luggage had actually been went through. And in the interest of egotism and gaslighting again, I had several items that were put out of place. Like there was like a little heart, this little stone heart that I have that was like thrown all around in the luggage and stuff. And then one of my keys for my storage was actually set on top next to that, like key to your heart type shit. But it was to let me know that they were able to get into my storage, because when I went to my storage the next day to go check on some stuff, put some stuff away, I couldn't even do that because they had gotten into my storage and contaminated it. And that's how you know you're not dealing with full-on humans anymore, because there's no fucking way, even with all this stalking and harassing, that they should have been able to get into my storage. But my storage was contaminated because when I went in there, I instantly started feeling sick. It was clear that it was contaminated. So I even went back to check on it the other day, but because this stuff does dissipate, it was still contaminated. And they may have gotten in it since and continued to poison it. But the desperation, the childishness, the egotism, the sheer evil of this world, you know what I mean? It's like people don't understand that they are in danger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, humans are up for extinction the way that this is going. And I have a mind to say that that might not be a bad thing, because the way that this is happening in this world is really disappointing. The fact that I can go to a car, and the funny thing is before all of this stuff really ramped up, I had a decent running relationship with Enterprise. Now, granted, I didn't know a lot of this shit was really happening behind the scenes. Like, I'm looking back now and I'm like, oh, a lot of this shit was a setup. So I could have always been set up with Enterprise. You know what I mean? Like, there could have always been something about that. It's like, oh, well, she has a good relationship with Enterprise, so let's, you know, they may have always been poisoning things. But again, let me circle back because I'm all over the place. To Nissan. Like I said, I thought like I was Nissan, like how disappointing. I always thought I got good service there and stuff like that, and the whole time they were bribed to help poison my car. Because it's funny, because, and I say that because I used to get my car I used to try to take care of my car. I used to get it regularly serviced for its oil change. I used to get his tire rotated and stuff like that. This fucker Brandon, this psychotic ass military cloned psychopath. He's just like, he's got to be a clone, because it's just talking to him sometimes is just like talking to a fucking robot. And I realize now he's insane. But anyways, this guy has been handling me for years. He's a part of this cult coven shit. He's a part of the military. He's a part of these MK Ultra, these Monarch experiments and all of that. And that's what I am a part of. That's what this is. So he's been paid to stalk me and harass me for years, and he does a really good job at it. You know, he's infiltrated places that I've worked. He has blocked and stopped jobs for me. He's also, in the interest of mind control, he's also drugged me and raped me on several occasions, and throughout my life. In fact, I was pregnant by him on several occasions because he's done so. I terminated every single one of them, and I hate to say that, but I'm glad that I did. But this has all been an evil ass experiment, and it's all about money and greed, and about me being born into a network of a giant network of cult people that is connected to organized, basically the Matrix, you know, and also like families that really wanted to use me, abuse me, and sacrifice me as a child. I'm actually from Africa, so I have multiple fake birth certificates. My origin is from Africa. I have 2 fake birth certificates here. The most organic one that I have is my true name, Rose Jordan, here. And that's the name that I actually identify with the most, but my name, Michaela, is false. And I was actually... my mother, who was Brenda, a lady named Brenda, and a man named John, they're false parents. They were just fucking people that basically were just false people, like cult members and handlers. Everybody's been a series of handlers, even friends and all kinds of stuff. And it's all been designed to just keep me by myself, keep me isolated, keep me traumatized, so that I have a lot of mental issues and things like that, so that they could continue to say that I was some kind of problem and I couldn't handle money, and then eventually just take me out. But that got ramped up when they started facing a lot of legal issues. So it's been a lot of crazy shit. Like I said, and they're well connected. Like I said, there's hotels, like all kinds of shit. There's celebrities. This dude was secretly married to Janet Jackson. Like, I couldn't make the shit up if I wanted to. I was pretty blown away by that, and that's why. And you know, when you connect the industry ties, you see why I'm up against so much. And then plus, it's just fucking me. You know, I'm just one person. You know, I don't have a lot of people. You know what I mean? They've taken all of my resources, and they're using basically resources that were mine and stolen from me to basically try to kill me. That's crazy. And because they are in such financial, since they are upside down right now and they are in such financial debt and stuff like that, they're probably literally robbing Peter to pay Paul to do this to me. But it's been a substantial, unprecedented, unlikely effort to take one human being down. And like I said, God is good because I am still standing. So, but like I said, to have a poisoned car from a rental agency, this is the 5th car that I've had, and they've made insane efforts to try to take me the fuck up out of here like this. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, and I'm recording this because it's like, this shit deserves to be recorded. You know what I mean? Like, these people deserve to be called out. This is like multiple places that I've gone, places that we spend money as people, and they've all, you know, either taken bribes or just, you know, either been a part of the network to begin with. But we're not living in a world that's made for good things. Like, we're not. And people had better wake up, because if we don't wake up, then you're not really going to be here. Like I said, beyond just me, they are contaminating our water supplies. They're doing a lot of crazy horse shit that is just insane. And it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot of shit. It's a lot of this guy's a fucking weirdo. What the fuck? I don't trust anybody. Everybody's a stalker. It's a lot of crazy stuff that that's happening in the world, and a lot of this shit is happening right to me. So, and the thing is like, I'm trying to just, you know, document this because I have been so alone. I know this is happening to other people. I know that when I have uploaded this stuff, all of my phones have been hacked and surveilled. So, some of the shit is just not getting uploaded. Some of the shit is just not getting seen. But I'm doing it either way because it's a way for me to be therapeutic. It's therapy for me. And B, maybe somebody will see it, you know what I mean? And somebody that's just like me, you know what I mean? What I can say is there needs to be a better network for people like us, you know, people that, because I'm not the only person that has been targeted, has had money left to them by families, had property or things that have been stolen from them fraudulently from family members. You know, I mean, some people have organic, and my organic family did this to me. They sold me into bondage. You know what I mean? So my real mother was killed. She was a sacrifice, just like they intended for me to be. And then my father, I believe I have that right. I may be wrong, but my father, you know what I mean? My organic family participated in this. They absolutely participated in this. And a lot of this has to do with bloodlines and bullshit like that, and jealousy and just really stupid, toxic shit. You know what I mean? But this is why I say, like, nobody, you know, I listen to people on you know, I listen to like tarot readings, and I listen to things on YouTube and stuff like that. And there are people that seem like really afraid to like admit that cults and covens are terrible things. Like, I've heard people say so many times, like, oh, you know, not all of them are bad. Fucking shut the fuck up with that. And I say that with the kindest way that I can. You guys need to stop saying those things and open your eyes and realize that this is the way that the world is ran. You know, cults and covens, you know, the military, all of these places and stuff like that. These are cults. This is so connected. This is all so connected, and none of them have anything are of any positive or anything. So I wish people would stop saying that dumb shit at the end of the day. And like, my experience, like, I have more than enough experience to say that. So, but I'm stop saying that. Cults and covens are terrible. They're demonic. They're evil. They are nefarious. They are there to control. They control their own people, and they're there to control whatever they are there to control. You know what I mean? And they do it with drugs, poison, sex, anything that they can twist and bend. Witchcraft, spell work. You know what I mean? these people are crazy, man. So anyways, that's what's going on. I just wanted to record this. Like I said, my 5th car that I've received from Enterprise has been poisoned. It's been set up. I think it's insane that these people are doing this, and they don't think that, like, they just really think that I'm just getting in the car and just driving down the road, not saying, wait a minute. Now, just because I'm not arguing with you guys because I don't know, you know, because I'm tired of the shit. You know, I just need a vehicle and I'm just trying to survive. But this is it. And the sad thing is like the desperation to take me out is like not only pathetic, but just evil, because this is your own doing. This is your own doing. You did this to your fucking selves. You know what I mean? Being evil fucking witches and warlocks and weirdos. You know what I mean? Stealing and stuff like that, killing and destroying somebody who doesn't deserve it, quite frankly. A lot of us don't deserve the shit when we go through stuff like this, but don't deserve it. And it's like when you're not a part of the system and you don't want to play ball anymore, this is the shit that they do. And the funny thing is I never said anything about playing ball. I didn't give a fuck about any money. I haven't even been to a courtroom. I just know that they're in a lot of legal problems and stuff like that. All I've tried to do is get away and save my life, manage my health, and have peace. That's the only thing that I've tried to do. It's why I went back to Nevada. It's why I'm back here in California, just trying to get away from these psychopaths. And one major person who is a cult leader, a deep-rooted cult leader, and has deep-rooted connections because of his celebrity connections, his social connections, and his connections to the military, and especially to the military, because it's how he's able to stealthily stalk me. It's how he's able to use a system and network of people and clones to harass me. It's why he consistently and constantly gets into my phone. He always knows where I'm at, and it comes right down to the poison. They are using some nasty, high grade, like military warfare shit that fucks with your nerves, shit that fucks with your circulation system, shit that induces severe lethargy, you know, those kind of things, you know what I mean? And for them to be able to fuck with my he also disguises himself, you know what I mean? Sometimes he'll show at the last place that I was at, the last hotel I was at before I actually got the fuck out of Nevada, he disguised himself as a Hispanic man, and was running around pretending like he was doing maintenance and stuff. And I caught him outside one day with a ladder and stuff like that, and he was trying to poison my AC. In fact, he successfully poisoned my AC, and then proceeded to have himself or somebody sit below me. But I know he enjoys torturing me directly while acting like it's not him. Sit below me on the 2nd floor, because I was on the 3rd floor, and overheat. Like, they had the stove on. They must have had extra heaters in there because they overheated the place while trying to poison me. Like, my whole, like, it was like being on fire for like 2 or 3 weeks straight. I stopped paying rent there because the whole fucking facility was in on it. And the funny thing is the manager confronted me about payment once and never came back, and it's because they expected me to die. Like, when I left, I wrote my whole little story about what had happened on their walls and shit, and bounced. The neighbors next to me were a bunch of cult coven members. They were stalking the fuck out of me. They were poisoning the fuck out of me and overheating me. And then they had their weird ass cult and coven members pull up in black SUVs and sit across the parking lot in the park across the street, and watch me to see if I was dying. I was to the point where I was actively coming out and walking out and watching them and flipping them off, and they would drive away. Like, it's been insane. And then, while I've been here, you know, I stopped to try to clean this car out a little bit, to decontaminate it a little bit, and I stopped at the beach here. Since then, I've seen 2 police officers. One pulled in here. I'm not doing shit, so he can fuck off. And then another one pulled up to tell me that I was in a no parking zone. And it's just hilarious, you know, how much the cops have not, like, I gave up calling law enforcement like last year, but I called them so many times, and they did not give a fuck about anything that was happening to me, a fourth of a fuck. Nobody has, no medical centers, nothing. Nobody has cared. So many places have been in on it, but they sure do care about showing up to harass me for a fucking psychopath. You know what I mean? For somebody who is literally, at this point, this man is doing this just because he just really wants to take me out, because he's in so much debt, and because these are narcissists, these are psychopaths, these are not human beings. You know, they blame me for their own misfortune. Like, if I wasn't around, they'd still be able to keep, you know, still killing and destroying. And the sad thing is if it wasn't me, it'd be somebody else. So, you know, fuck these people. Brandon, fuck you. You're a fucking demonic robot. You're not even a real person. You are a soulless, empty being. And everything that you've done to me will be remembered and recorded. And, you know, don't think that I'm going to let you take me out because of this. So, you know, you may have taken some hits on me with all this weird ass poison and shit like that. But what I do know about you motherfuckers is that you're over there taking hits too. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be sitting here working this hard to try to take me out. And this fucking company, Enterprise, is a wrap. Like, they're all going down. A lot of these companies are going to have to pay for this because this is ridiculous. And the sad thing is they're going off of the false hope and narrative that I'm going to die from all of this, and I'm still alive. I've been preserved for this reason, because this shit needs to stop. These kind of things need to stop happening to innocent people. Over money, over greed, over jealousy, over envy, and over people coveting what is not theirs. This shit needs to fucking end. So that's the primary reason I'm alive. If I was doing something horrible, if I was a horrible human being, if I was really a part of all of this shit, they've tried to blame me for shit. They've taken my blood. They've had illegal access to my medical records, bodily fluids and things like that. They've taken my blood and placed it at the scene of crimes and stuff, tried to set me up, tried to get me locked up, all kinds of shit. Either in insane asylums or, you know, or just locked up. You know, that's another reason why the cops constantly pop up wherever I'm at. Because they're actively gang stalking me too. And trying to see, you know, they've sent people towards me to be provocative. Because they're trying to get me to act out of character while they've got me under so much pressure, so that so that they can have some kind of reason to get me locked up. And the funny thing is, the projection has never been realer. These people have sacrificed people. They've cut bodies up for sacrificial purposes. They've had weird ass orgies. Most of these people are on fucking drugs and have some sort of mental instability, and are hoes and prostitutes and pimps like you wouldn't believe. And a lot of these motherfuckers will sit up in a church on a Sunday or whatever and talk about praise Jesus and shit, and come out here and do this cult coven weird ass shit, spell work and stuff, running around naked in the moon and stuff like that, talking about whatever they're talking about and shit like that. It's fucking hilarious. The projection, the hypocrisy that comes out of these people. All while trying to slander and defame the fuck out of me so that they can keep money that is not theirs. So they can keep resources, property, assets, things that they've invested in that are fraudulent. They've been money laundering the fuck out of money into overseas accounts and stuff, bunch of hidden bank accounts and stuff like that. And the funny thing is like, if you sat back and just let them, they take each other out over this money so somebody else could get a bigger slice of the pie. So it's hilarious. I'm not trying to record these motherfuckers. It's fucking hilarious. And yeah, like I said, death trap number 5. This is Enterprise Rent-A-Car, y'all. This is what they've done. So, trying to take me out like I'm some kind of hot commodity. This is cult coven activity. This is a network of families and industry people. I was born, I was sold into basically bondage to be a sacrificial lamb. And unfortunately, they haven't been able to sacrifice me, so they wilding out here, trying to take me out. So I've been sprayed and contaminated on a nightly basis. I'm not safe in any hotel, so I've just rented a car because my vehicle was destroyed, to try to stay safe and stay with some kind of roofing and survive. And they've tried to destroy even that, basically. This car is contaminated heavily. So yeah, but anyways, that's it.